Yeah, Mickey, can I jump in? Just you mentioned there about consistency of selection, and I think over the last 5-6 years or so, I reckon your first spell was probably the one time where you did get a bit of consistency of selection. But what is it that you did, with the hierarchy of the PCB or the many different selectors and agents that actually managed to achieve that? Because it seems to be the thing that escapes everyone is how to get. Because I think a lot of you get a lot of credit for Baba's career as well. Because I remember watching that early time with red ball cricket specifically, where a lot of these people were calling for his head. So, and backing him with action at that time has allowed him to flourish. So I'm just really interested, how does Jason or Gary, with the hierarchy of the PCB, get some consistency in that selection?
You've got to be very hard. You've got to be very firm, and you can't sway from your views. And hopefully, I was very, very lucky that Najim Sethi bought into what I wanted to do, and he gave me a lot of lateral movement within the organization. He backed me in a lot. It really helped that we managed to win the Champions Trophy in 2017, because with us winning the Champions Trophy, it allowed me to back those players in, but it also gave me a quite a loud voice, so that if there were people that wanted to change things up with different agendas, I could cut them down because I had the currency behind me. I was really disappointed going to 2019, because I thought that team at that point in time, based on the consistency of selection, was ready to fly. They were ready to fly then. But then once change comes in, players then become very selfish and start playing for themselves, as they would, because they want to keep their place. So I'd say you've got to be tough, you've got to be hard, you've got to have a vision, you've got to sell that vision to the hierarchy, and then hopefully get their backing, and then you've got to have some success, because the success just elevates not your status, but it elevates your control for a period of time.
Mickey, you mentioned Najim Sethi there, and obviously you came back, didn't you, as director after your stint as head coach. So did the way that ended, did that affect at all how you view your time in Pakistan?
Um, Not at all. As I've always said, Pakistan is very, very close to me. So those young players, I mean, I'm still in constant contact with most of them. They'll still text me all the time. They wonderful, wonderful human beings. We friends now, genuine friends with that whole team. So I've got a bias towards those guys. I just want to see them have some success. I have to be honest. 2019, I felt that my job wasn't finished there, and I always wanted another bite at the cherry. When Najim came in, he persuaded me to do it. I didn't think that I could do it possibly to the best of my ability, but there was always that attraction. There was always that attraction for me to go back and give it one last chance. And I feel I've cleansed myself now. I had to I had to go back and have another go at it, and now it's kind of out the system, if you like. But I still back them. They're my favorite team. So when they go to an ICC event now, I'm watching and I'm going. I'm hoping Pakistan win it. Hence, why I'm so positive towards them, because I know exactly what those guys can do, and I do have a bias towards Pakistan at the moment.
Oh, coming into doing this, I had Pakistan down as no chance, but Mickey's making me believe like they've got a chance now.
He's got a Pakistan shirt on underneath that hoodie. Urooj, do you think with the new coaches, do you think it's important that they live in Pakistan and spend as much time as possible there?
I think that has to be priority. I think that has to be one of the fundamentals, because, like Miki said, you need to know the player for the human that they are, as opposed to just the player and what strokes they can make, if I put it that way. You need to understand what works for what, because I think in all of it, coaching probably also has a lot to do with managing personalities, and Mickey touched on it. Some of our players have egos, which is part and parcel of the game, especially in the subcontinent. The way the board and the public dresses you up and puts you up on that pedestal, it almost sort of becomes a thing where it becomes human nature to yourself, and it's not easy to sort of remind yourself every now and then, like, let's come back. So I think the coaching staff needs to be there to understand what works for which individual and how they all marry in together. So I think for that you need to spend time as much as possible, and accept them as an entire family. We've all got sort of different characters in families, and they all need to be managed differently. And I always believe you keep them happier off the field, the on-field performances is a buy-in automatically.
Yeah. Yeah, just if I can come in there, Urooj is 100% right. You have to be invested. You have to show that commitment, because then you get buy-in from the public as well. And as you know, the public can be pretty harsh in Pakistan. Social media it kills a lot of players. There's a lot of perceptions that are created on social media. And I do think to get buy-in totally, you have to live there. You've got to experience day-to-day life, because that helps you with your coaching. So you need to spend as much time as possible as you can, because that will give you a really good footing to start on.
Just before we move on from the coaches, Azeem, you've obviously played under Jason Gillespie. What are his strengths? How do you think he'll adapt to this job?
Well, I think he's very good at managing people, putting life into perspective. What's important, what's not, which I think will be. I think that the Pakistan team will enjoy that. I think his challenge is going to be understanding every aspect. Having enough time to understand every aspect of Pakistan cricket. There's a lot of baggage and a lot of things that happen that you need to know before the outcome. Before the performance on the field. I think that's going to be the challenge, and I hope that he is going to be traveling and staying there, because I think with that, if either of them make the mistake of not being there fully, I think they're going to find out very quickly how difficult it will become for them. As Mickey said, building that relationship individually with players, with other stakeholders, but also understanding why they've not performed as consistently as they should be, as their abilities are. So, but I think Dizzy will bring a calming influence. I think he'll be great for the fast bowlers. He'll be brilliant for the fast bowlers. He'll simplify the game massively. I remember when he first came to Yorkshire, he was working in Zimbabwe and he flew over in the winter. And everyone was sat there, and we were used to all these team meetings and stuff. And he came in and he went, "You know what? We're going to have a lot of fun this year. We're going to work hard, but we're going to have a lot of fun." And that was it. And he flew back to Zimbabwe. And that was him with his coaching. He brought Liam Plunkett to the club, who was struggling at the time, and he just simplified the game. He told Adil Rashid, just give it a rip. If it get hit for a six, come back, give it a rip again. So I think just simplifying the game for the lads, that will be really good on an individual basis. But again, Pakistan cricket's not just about that. There's going to be a lot more challenges with it.